going well for him today. We'll have to see how he fares against a deck full of removal spells. I'm trying to get Mr. Warren's deck list here. Makes it nice and easy when I could just head straight to the back of the pile. Also trying to separate the rest of our top 8 while I come across them. But here are the matchups for right now anyways. We have in Joe's deck 4 Rakdos Cackler, 4 Stromkirk Noble, 3 Pillar of Flames, 1 Legion Loyalist, 4 Gore-Clan Rampager, 4 Burning Tree Emissary, 4 Flinthoof Boar, 4 Searing Spear, 4 Madcap Skills, 4 Reckoner, 4 Hellrider, and that's just about does it. He's got a couple Temple Gardens in here. I have no idea why I'm seeing white mana, but I suppose that's likely for reasons out of the sideboard. Well, I don't see anything in the sideboard. 3 Mizium Mortars, an Electricity, a Pillar of Flame, 3 Volcanic Strength, 2 Frostburn Weird, 2 Skullcrack, a Gruul War Chant, and a Domery. So, not sure why I see 2 Temple Gardens here. Maybe the reason will make itself apparent shortly.
Commentary? You're here for commentary?
I'm alone.
Okay.
Alright, and these guys are getting underway here. Robert Moore has the higher seating between the 2 players, so he gets to go first.
Okay, I need Whooper to put those cubes cards into a list. Can he do it on your laptop? Like a notepad? Yeah, just do it in a notepad.
And we see a Flinthoof Boar here for Joe Warren to get things started off. Can't quite make it hasty, but nonetheless it will be attacking next turn. And the Liliana takes care of the Flinthoof Boar before it's able to do any damage. And an Unleashed Rakdos Cackler here for Joe. Liliana's going to tick up and cost each player a card here. But not before Robert takes 2 life to lay an untapped land. I'm going to wait to update life totals until after he plays his Huntmaster of the Fells. There we go. So 20 to 20, 2 guys for Robert, and we'll see if he's willing to lose a card in the service of adding counters to Liliana. Sure is. And he's going to just pitch the Rakdos return. So I want to thank you guys for joining us here as we see Joe crash in with a Hellrider. Just the damage triggers will be enough to kill the Liliana, take it off the board, and Cackler's going to go ahead and trade with a 2/2 Wolf token. So that means Robert's going to take 3, drop to 17. He's doing a pretty decent job so far, keeping his life total in a manageable range. He hit 5 mana. That's Thragtusk mana, which we're about to see here, I'm fairly certain. There we go. And an attack for 2. And 20 to 22 is where our life totals currently sit. Let's see if Joe's got any sort of tricks to help that Hellrider stay brutal. And I think I saw Madcap Skills. Not too many cards have that much distinctive coloring going on in them, but 18 to 22 for life totals.
Sire Insanity just made Blaine discard 3 Sphinx Revelations.
Again?
Like 7 mana.
Again? Oh, this is the second time today Judge Blaine Campbell's discarded 3 Sphinx Revelations to a Sire of Insanity. So the attack there from Joe is going to take 4 damage off his opponent. Looks like 18 for each player here. And nope, there was a block. And a hard cast Gorklan Rampager here from Joe. Seems like he might have saved the Hellrider with that. I'm not sure if I missed something here. But 18 to 21 is the life total difference now. I went ahead and made an assumption there. My apologies. We all know how that turns out. Mizium Orders takes down the Rampager. And a swing for 5 drops Joe to 13. Game appears to be getting a little out of Joe's reach here. We'll have to see what he's able to do. Again, I do still think there's that madcap skills in his deck. And is that a Vampire Nighthawk there from Robert, maybe? There are 2 of them in his main board, so that is going to be what that is. It's a promo version. Robert playing 1 Sire of Insanity, 4 Thragtusk, 3 Olivia, 4 Huntmaster, 2 Nighthawk, 2 Mortars, 4 Farseek, a Rakdos Keyrune, a Dreadbore, a Rakdos Return, 2 Bonfire, 2 Putrefy, 3 Pillar, 3 Liliana of the Veil, 2 Garruk Primal Hunter, and that's it for spells. Mr. Warren has the Searing Spear for the Vampire Nighthawk. 13 to 21 is still my most recent life total change, but a new one's coming in now. Oh, my apologies that the 13 didn't quite make it in. Get that going there for you, and now it is 10 to 21. Very curious about whether or not that was indeed a Madcap Skills in Joe's hand. If it is, I'm not exactly sure what he's waiting for. Pretty sure that 3/3 Thragtusk token did attack last turn, which would make it tapped and mean that the Flint of Boar will just get in unscathed. And there we go. Here's your Madcap Skills and an attack for what looks like 6. I just got the update of 10 to 16 for life totals. I thought it was going to drop Robert down to 15. Let's see what Robert wants to do with all this mana here. Garruk Primal Hunter. So a sea of 3/3s are headed Joe's way. Plenty enough to do some blocking here. Trying to think of what Joe's best outs are here. He really needed Bonfire of the Damned, something like that, but not going to find it this game, and Robert's going to take game 1. So good start for Robert. Joe was on the draw, so this is really the game he expects to win. I expect him to win. I think he's just going to prove to be a little too fast for his opponent here. Not sure if there was any play lines available to Joe where he would have been able to get that win. But I'm not sure, it seemed like he could have just Gore-Clan Rampager to save his Hellrider, which I think would have been a little more optimal. Hellrider is just a very important creature for the deck. And then it was just like, but even if he would have done that and like slapped the Madcap skills on it, there was so much removal in Robert's hand. It was going to walk him straight into a 2-for-1, which is I'm sure what Joe was trying to avoid, holding the skills for as long as he did. Pretty much till the last possible minute where he thought it would still allow him to win the race. So let's take a look at some sideboards here. As we said, Joe Warren's playing 3 Mizium Mortars, 1 Electrickery, 1 Pillar of Flame, 3 Volcanic Strength, 2 Frostburn Weird, 2 Skullcrack, 2 Gruul War Chant, and 2 Domri Raid. I would expect Domri Raid to come in this matchup. I would also expect Volcanic Strength to come in this matchup. And potentially Mizium Mortars. I personally would leave it home. I'd rather bring in Skullcrack, which I expect Joe to do as well. He got beaten up pretty bad by some life gain in that game. As far as Mr. Moore's sideboard, he's carrying 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Dreadbore, 2 Devour Flesh, a 3rd Vampire Nighthawk, 2 of them are in his main board, 3 Ground Seal, 2 Duress, a Slaughter Games, a Deadbridge Chant, a Vraska the Unseen, and a Sire the Insanity. So Mr. Moore's pretty much less equipped in his sideboard than I'm sure he'd like to be. That's due to the fact that he's better equipped in his main board than he needs to be. But for the most part, though, it's definitely should be a good matchup here. I do think Joe makes up a little ground in the percentages. And, he would have loved to steal game 1 there, but I think he's still operating very well within, his comfort zone where he's able to succeed. And I think we're definitely in to see some pretty good Magic here. Hopefully get 2 more games out of these guys. In the meantime, I'm going to switch the camera over to myself and do our judge Joe Shea a little bit of a favor. Mr. Blevins, if you're still with us, I'm sure you'll appreciate this as well. We talked a little bit about the Slam Dunklers podcast. A couple of Jobins right here talking about Magic cards. Just talking about being bad and playing this game. So make sure you guys check out their Facebook channel or their Facebook page and their YouTube channel. And make sure you guys take a listen to those guys. Always support your local Magic communities, no matter where you move. It's important. If you don't, you end up in a city with no decent card shops, nothing worth doing, and you end up having to travel 3 hours just to get a decent game of Magic. So definitely Google the Slam Dunklers podcast. Just a couple of goofballs trying to have a good time and talk about a game they love. I know I enjoy listening to them every week. I know also they gave us a little bit of a shout out, so I hope some of you heard about the live stream or maybe headed down to the event as a result of the Slam Dunklers podcast. If you guys can prove that to me, if you let me know, it'd go a long way in helping us support the podcast a little bit too. If we know they can, advertising with them reaches a little bit, then we'll be happy to do it. So please always let us know that the Slam Dunklers sent you if they sent you down for an event. It's much appreciated. As we watch these guys finish up their shuffles, getting ready to go here for game 2. I'm sure Joe will be on the play here. Looks like a couple land and mostly spells, so I think Joe's going to keep don't know he has green mana yet. I just don't know that he cares either. Starts things off with a Stromkirk Noble. No better start for Joe with his deck here today. Very difficult to deal with. By the time you can establish a board presence, it's usually grown a few times. And the decks that can establish a board presence early generally do it with humans. So the Noble's just been an incredibly strong and powerful, just aggressive creature so far in its entirety of standard. I'm sorry, the entirety of the time it takes to, or it's been illegal in standard, I'm sorry. A lot of things going on here distracting me. Rob Moore is going to do the ideal start here for his Jund deck and lead with a turn 2 Farseek. Both players did mulligan here. So they're both looking at 6-card hands. And Joe did not have another creature to come into the board on turn 2, and we would have liked at least one. Like Rakdos Cackler. Rakdos Cackler was pretty much his ideal draw, or ideal turn 2. Obviously the mull to 6, you have to kind of throw the ideal hands out. They're not always going to happen. Boros Reckoner here though for Joe. Gets him going with 2 3/3s ready to enter the red zone next turn. And 20 to 17 are the life totals. And one of my favorite Jund cards, Rakdos Keyrune, hits the board here for Robert. Just an incredibly effective tool. I like it quite a bit. And a Dreadbore is going to eat up the Boros Reckoner, which is a big deal because now this Stromkirk Noble will be too big for the Rakdos Keyrune to handle. One of the best features of that Keyrune, in my opinion, is that when played on turn 3, accelerates you into your Thragtusk. It's a very big boost for the card, in my opinion. And Joe knocks Mr. Moore down to 14. We'll see if Thragtusk is a part of Robert's hand and game plan for this game. Second Stromkirk Noble will probably have some difficulty making its way through the Keyrune, but not if it's tapped for mana. So let's see where Rob's going with this. Stopping at 3 is not ideal. I don't know how he gains life there. Just a measly old bonfire for 1. And sends the turn back, so Rob is now definitely on the back foot. Joe decides to do some pre-combat shenanigans and get some extra hasted damage in here with a Flinthoof Boar. So a very strong play. Rob does have a removal spell, and he's going to Abrupt Decay that initial Stromkirk Noble and take 3. So a lot of removal here from Robert, but that's what his deck is. And Joe lost a point of damage I missed here somehow, so we'll get him down to 19. And the Huntmaster's not what Joe wanted to see, but he also very possibly has some answers to it in his hand. We got 19-13 for life totals. Two very unfortunate blockers, though, for Mr. Moore. Joe's done a good job of not flooding out this game. This is a Hell Rider. He's in business. It's not, though. And Joe does take two for that stomping ground we saw him play. And Joe's just going to hard cast a Gore-Clan Rampager. Knocks his opponent down to 10. So 17-10. Could Joe not have saved a creature with the Rampager? I mean, the Rampager is just stronger and better. So maybe it is correct, because as long as you're getting the trade, just let the smaller creature die and hard cast him. I can certainly get behind that logic. Let me know if you guys have any other thoughts. Chat got a little quiet on me here, so make sure some of you guys are still sticking around. And Olivia Valderin here for Rob. Be interesting to see how Joe chooses to attack into this board. Mizium orders to take care of the Olivia. Certainly a good start. Definitely a guy that was going to wreak some havoc. But for good measure, Mr. Moore is going to turn a Flinthoof Boar into a vampire for the rest of the game. And Joe offers a trade here, and Rob takes it. So 4 damage being done to Robert. Only a Burning Tree Emissary left, but that it does represent lethal damage on board, assuming his opponent forgets he can block with a Rakdos Key Rune. Not something I actually expect to happen. But either way, it puts Joe in a decent chance. I mean, he could draw Volcanic Strength or Madcap skills here and really, really do some damage. I know Joe wouldn't hate going home with a dual land today, which is what the losers in this round will be taking home, except for one of them. Whoever finishes with the top breakers of the quarterfinal losers here will be getting a collector's edition Mox Sapphire, I believe it is. The top 4 will all be getting near mint unlimited Moxen. So more power with haste for Joe. And let's see what Robert's able to do. I don't count any good blocks here for him. So he's going to need removal spell plus Key Rune. Exactly lethal here, and on to game 3. So good job by Joe finding a way to push through the last bit of damage and take himself into the rubber match here. Oh man, I did not change the round to quarterfinals. This is going to look so much less exciting. Make sure we get it updated now, though. All right, it doesn't really look like either player has any need to head back into their sideboard again before game 3. Blevins, are you still with us? You think Joe minds if I keep this sweet token? This token says that if I like you guys on Facebook, I take no damage from my Dark Confidant flips. That's a bargain. That's how Magic is played right there, folks. Oh, quarterfinals doesn't even fit up there. Sloppy. My apologies. We'll have to address that for next time. Just gonna have to make it top 8. All right, the players have their opening hands here. Robert looks mana heavy, but I see a Garruk and a Thragtusk, so maybe he just wants to grind it out here. I don't think I see a single removal spell. That may be a Bonfire of the Damned. So if we call it 1 Bonfire and Thragtusk, Garruk, and 4 lands, Joe is going to head down to 6. Robert's on the play, which I think makes this hand considerably worse. Makes it a little harder to draw into something relevant for the first 4 turns of the game. Joe looks like, yep, he's ready to keep. And no aggressive start here for Joe, so no 1-drop. Definitely going to hurt him, but Robert did keep that slow hand. So let's say Burning Tree Emissary. Nope, just a Flint of board. Okay. Have not seen any of Robert's draws yet, so I don't know that he has anything spicy for the board right now. Is this another Flint of boar? It sure is. So we're looking at a swing for 6. That's big. It's big damage right there, considering there was no 1-drop. So a good start here for Joe. And Robert is still a turn away from casting anything relevant I've seen, but we have an Olivia. Not as good as a Huntmaster, because one single Searing Spear blows that Olivia right out of the water. Oh, better yet, a Blood Rush Gore Clan Rampager does a really good job. So we're going to see, that 10 damage here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 damage here. So does that put Robert to 3? Yeah, 20 to 3. Robert never hit land 5, his flood out, and he never hit the 5th land. So Joe's going to take this match, move on. Congratulations to Mr. Warren. He's going to be taking home a near mint unlimited Mox for himself today. Always nice to pick up a piece of power. Can't imagine it's the first one Joe's ever owned, but I know when he got out of the game a little while ago, anything big money like that probably got sold. So I'm sure he'll be happy to add a Mox to his collection here. I know I sure would be. These players are going to get their sideboards out of their main boards here while we try to get another feature match in for you, if at all possible.